Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and in today's video I'll be playing Evelynn in the jungle. Guys, Evelynn is still, it's not broken, but it is still really good. And today I will show you exactly how to play Evelynn. Like, you can really abuse how Evelynn works because of her invisibility. But more on that during the gameplay part of the video. Now in the beginning part of the video I'm going to explain to you how to build Evelynn. There's timestamps in the description if you want to skip out the build part of the video. Okay, so on Evelynn, about the first item, after some careful, after playing a lot of Evelynn games in the new patch and really looking at what worked better, Rabadon's Deathcap first item is better than Infinity Orb. Now see, the thing is, this is not bad. So there is a good point about going Infinity Orb first item. If you go Infinity Orb and you get either a kill or an assist before the first dragon, you should be able to buy Infinity Orb before the first dragon. But Rabadon's Deathcap, you're not going to be able to buy it because it costs 3,500 gold. So basically, the only reason you would want to get Infinity Orb is if you can manage to get a kill before the first dragon, so you can actually have a, the power spike of a tier 3 item. But Rabadon's Deathcap first item is a way bigger power spike. But you won't get it before the first dragon. So let me tell you guys, this is generally a better build, but I personally still sometimes go for Infinity Orb because, I play very aggressively with Evelynn and I'm able to get kills. So, quite often I'm actually able to buy the Infinity Orb before the first dragon. But I'm gonna recommend you guys this build. This is just better. Like, this is always gonna be good. The only problem is the first dragon might be a little hard because you won't have a whole item. But as I said, this is always gonna be a good build. As your second item, Lichbane, for your third ability, it provides you so much burst damage, and of course, Evelynn is all about the burst. By the way, after your first item, you really want to get boots, at least tier 1 boots. And after Lichbane, I actually always go for Proto Belt. So you go for Ionian boots because you need cooldown, and I always go for Proto Belt on Evelynn because it's so powerful, guys, because Proto Belt and then your third ability is such an amazing gap closer and you can burst down enemy. It's just really good. But more on this during the gameplay part. You'll actually see why Proto Belt is absolutely broken on Evelynn, guys. So these are going to be your first 3 items. And of course, Infinity Orb. Infinity Orb is just such a beautiful item on Evelynn. You always need it. So you either start with an Infinity Orb and then get Rabadon's as your third item, or you start with Rabadon's and get Infinity Orb as your third item. Now about your fourth item, if the enemy has any tanks, Garen, Alistar, whatever, if they have any tanks that's building armor, it's often going to be worth it to just buy a Void Staff, However, if the enemy doesn't have tanks, if they have like Janna support and, actually, if they only have one tank and you feel like you can ignore the tank and just go for that backlines, you can choose to go for the green book as your fourth item. Or if they have a lot of healing, you can also neglect the tanks. But you have to decide for yourself. Do you want to kill the tanks? Then you go for a Void Staff. Do you just want to kill the squishy targets? Go for the green book. That's how you decide it. It's actually that easy. But I want to say that getting a Void Staff as your fourth item is generally better than the green book, because having the percentage magic penetration is really strong on Evelynn. As my runes, see, Electrocute is really good on Evelynn because of the burst damage, right? But if you want to play Evelynn more as a, to win 1v1s in your jungle, then Conqueror is going to help you more, because in the jungle with Conqueror, you can just keep spamming your first ability. But let me tell you guys one thing, Evelynn did get nerfed, and the thing that they nerfed about Evelynn is the sustained damage of her first ability. So generally, you're not as strong anymore in these elongated fights where you just keep hitting your first ability. And that's why I recommend you to go for Electrocute now. I think in the game today I didn't have Electrocute, but it is better to go Electrocute. As your second rune here, it depends. So Brutal is always going to be good, in the jungle it's always going to be nice. But the thing is, with the new Gathering Storm, you can actually go for Gathering Storm on Evelynn. Guys, you heard it right. Gathering Storm on Evelynn. And let me tell you why. Because Evelynn is a late game champion, and with Gathering Storm, you're gonna have so much ability power in the late game. You're gonna be able to absolutely one-shot the enemy. That's why Gathering Storm is a really strong thing for Evelynn. Keep that in mind. But if you want to survive the early game, get a Brutal. you know, if you get good at Evelynn, you can choose to get a Gathering Storm round. But, you know, as a beginner Evelynn, go for Brutal. As my third rune, you know, it depends what you want. Second Wind is going to be good to just regenerate HP, but you already regenerate HP with Evelynn. Bone Plating is going to be good in 1v1s, you know, because you're going to take reduced damage in 1v1s. Hunter Titan, I really like Hunter Titan myself because, you know, you're going to get tenacity, so you don't always have to use your ultimate to escape. Because, of course, Evelynn has her ultimate to escape, you know, but if the enemies actually try to catch you out, the extra tenacity is going to be really nice to allow you to escape without actually having to use your ultimate. And as your fourth rune, it depends, you know. Mastermind is going to be good to take dragons and things like that. Hunter Genius is actually going to be really good to reduce the cooldown of your ultimate especially. But, you know, it just depends on what you want. It really depends on what you want. So I either recommend you to go for Hunter Genius or Mastermind on Evelynn, guys. So for your spells, Smite and Flash, you know. See, let me tell you guys one thing. You could go for Ignite instead of a Flash. You could, like, you know, like this. This is definitely, like, I don't really recommend it, but you can do it. This is obviously really strong if you know, after level 5, this is really strong. But if you go for this, you need a Proto Belt as your second item. Keep that in mind, guys. Oops, if you don't go for a Flash, you need to get Proto Belt as fast as possible. But, you know, you can experiment with it, see how you like it, but of course Flash is always going to be nice. So enough about this, let's get into the gameplay. On to the gameplay, and yeah, I'm playing Evelynn, and as an Evelynn, you generally want to farm in the early game, you know? Evelynn is not that strong. See, Evelynn used to be pretty strong in these 1v1s, but she got nerfed. Her first ability damage got nerfed. So as an Evelynn, you're really heavily reliant on burst damage now. And that's how Evelynn should work, you know. It was a good nerf to her. But the thing that you need to do now is farm and farm and farm until you get level 5. Only gank if you really believe you can get a kill. Otherwise, it's a waste of time because you're really not that strong, guys, in the early game. Like, only if you see that the enemy makes a mistake, you know, they overextend too much, then you can choose to gank them. Otherwise, just farm, guys. Just farm safely. And it's actually very nice if your teammates can help you leash. Like, you know, the Camille, it was really nice for her to leash. You should actually ping your teammates to ask them to leash, because the faster clear on Evelynn is really nice to have. You know, it's gonna buy you a lot of time on the scuttle crap. It's just really good to have. So oh, he actually already died. That's pretty sad. So, see, the problem with Evelynn in the early game is you don't be like, Evelynn has two very powerful tools in her kit: ultimate and invisibility. These two things, you only get these two things when you become level 5. So in the early game, you don't have the two big powers of Evelynn. So do you get my point here, guys? You really want to farm to get those things. And you'll see here, like, you know, I'm thinking, what should I do? Should I gank? Shouldn't I gank? So I was looking at the Vi here, and I was like, okay, let me try to get this Scuttle Crab real quick. So I'm just trying to burst it down as fast as I can. And here I was just like, okay, you know what? They're overextending. I can just flash into them. Boom. Just like that. Just like that. The reason that I killed them, was because they overextended. And as you could see, when you gank with Evelynn before level 5, you're likely gonna have to force your flash, because you're not invisible. They can just escape from you. And Evelynn is not like Lee Sin or Vi, for example. You know, she doesn't have a huge dash. So you need to actually flash on top of the enemy, and then you can engage with your third ability. That's a way to gank with Evelynn before level 5. And now, as you can see, I am level 5. So this is where the game changes. You know, I use my charm on the Vi. Take a look at this. She's trying to escape. Boom. Like, I'm way stronger now, as you can see. See, guys? See? This is the power of Evelynn. When you become level 5, okay, the Jax kinda scared me. When you become level 5, that's when you need to gank, guys. Because that, like, you know, if you look at how strong Evelynn is in games, it goes like this, you know, very weak. It goes up, and level 5 is here. And then it goes a little lower when you become 6 and 7, but then it only goes upwards again. So obviously, at this peak where you are level 5 and stronger than anyone, you wanna gank with your ultimate. Because your ultimate is such a powerful tool, guys. And this was really beautiful from the Camille. The Camille spammed her ultimate on the Akali, as you can see. And we just actually didn't kill the Akali. Wow, that was so lucky from the Akali. Ooh, this is not good. I'm probably dead here. Yep. Yeah. I just got caught out here. And that was actually pretty stupid of me, you know? That was actually pretty stupid, yeah. And here you can see, in the beginning part of the video, I actually said that you only need 1 kill to get Infinity Orb, but you actually need 3. You actually need more kills, guys. So, see, this is the thing. When you feel like you can get a lot of kills, Infinity Orb is gonna be better than Rabadon's Death Cap, because now I have a tier 3 item before the first dragon. Of course, it's a big risk, though. You know, it's a big risk. But if you are a very aggressive Evelynn player and you know you're gonna get kills against the enemy composition, you can choose to go for Infinity Orb. It's a very, very strong first item, guys. So what we wanna do now is fight. Oh. Oh no! So close. Ah. So close. I could have stolen that so easily. Why? How did I fail that? That's so sad. Okay. Okay, that's pretty sad. That's actually so sad. Wow. Oh. What was I saying? Why do you pick mid? Hey, 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 hey. Ho, 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 ho. Stop it right there, buddy. Stop it right there. Stop the toxicity. This is not good. Stop the toxicity. This is not good. As you can see here, I'm also a human. I make mistakes. This is so stupid. You know, I still post these videos where I'm toxic because I feel like, you know, I guess I kind of deserve the embarrassment of it because I really hate toxicity, but sometimes, you know, you get so tilted and it just happens, but it's stupid. You shouldn't be toxic because it doesn't help at all. Like, what does it help for me to say that the Katarina sucks? Why would I say that? It's just so stupid and I hate myself so much for it, but you know, I try to better myself every day. Because actually, believe it or not, when I was like 15 years old, I used to play a different game called Vainglory. It was also a game like Wild Rift, you know, a MOBA. And I was like known for one of the most toxic players in EU. Like I was crazy toxic when I was like 15 years old. And it was like, it was so stupid. But since, like, I'm gonna tell you guys one thing. When I became 17 years old, no, sorry, 19 years old, and when I started my YouTube channel, from day one, I made child-friendly YouTube videos. From day one up until now. I have never actually done any swear words on my YouTube channel. I mean, except for the Yeet tier, but you know, like I'm making child-friendly videos, not only for good videos, but also for me. You know, I want to reduce toxicity. I want to reduce my, I want to make my language a bit cleaner by not swearing, because swearing is just, you know, it's unnecessary, it's stupid, and it really shouldn't be done. That's why. So that's why I really hate myself when I actually rewatch my games and I see how toxic sometimes I am. You know, it's really, really stupid to see and annoying actually. Here I just completely inted. Like, if you look at this, what happened here, I was going for the Rift Herald. But why the hell would you do that? That's really stupid. So when you're actually this low on Evelynn and on any other champion, just leave, guys. Take the L, you know, take the L. Don't try to get something out of it while you're like at 0 HP. Because the enemy is just gonna kill you and they're gonna take your bounty and it's not worth it, guys. So keep that in mind. When you're super low, don't feel like it's always necessary to help your team. Of course, pay attention though. I'm not telling you guys to always back up when you're super low. Pay attention. If you feel like you can just surprise the enemy, for example, and just kill them anyways, of course you can re-engage. But if you're just gonna int and die, you know, of course, like, your team is not gonna blame you for backing off if you would just die otherwise, instead, you know? Oh! Ooh, so close. He actually ignited me. That's so sad. Damn. This game is really close, as you can see. The Ezreal's... Oh, that was really good for the Ezreal to pick up that kill, actually. Like, if we can get to the late game, we should win this game. Even though that the enemies have the Infernal Dragon, we have Evelynn and Ezreal. These are two super strong carry champions. So, you know, when you're playing the game, I say this in almost every video, but I'm gonna repeat it now. Always look at the scenario of the game. Not scenario, sorry, at the compositions. Look at your team composition and the enemy team composition. Think by yourself, what do we have to do? Do we have to win the early game? Do we have to push turrets? Or can we just farm and get to the late game? And in our situation, if you look at their team and our team, they have Jax, they have Lux, they have you know, like they have pretty strong early game champions. But in the late game, team fights as well. In the late game, in team fights with Ezreal, Janna, Evelynn, guys, look at our composition, Katarina. We win the late game team fights. So like, we shouldn't be worried about the early game. And you know, the dragon that we lost, whatever, right? Whatever. It doesn't really matter that much. Oh, beautiful snipe. Beautiful, beautiful snipe. So, you know, just survive till the late game with a composition like ours. But the only problem is the Vayne. The only problem is the Vayne in the late game. But that's where I come in. You know, that's where Evelynn comes in handy. You are an assassin when you play Evelynn, and you are supposed to take care of these assassins like, not assassins, these hard late game ADC carries like Vayne, or if the enemy has an Ezreal or Jinx, you know, you are supposed to take care of these champions, because you can pretty much one-shot them if you get to the late game. Let's take a look at what's gonna happen here. I don't know what Jax is trying to do. Oh! Oh my god, it's too close. Let's take a look. Look at this dragon. What's happening? Oh! I'm so close to dying. What is happening here? Look at how low I am. Oh, I killed the Vine. This is crazy. Look at how close this team fight is, and we just aced them. And here we have to be fast. Come on. One of the enemies has respawned, and I have 0 energy, and I'm only with Janna. Take a look at this, guys. This is so risky to take the dragon. Watch what's gonna happen. Oh, the Jax is right there. No, look at this. I have my smite ready, and boom, I smited it. He did kill me, however, but I did smite the dragon. That was definitely worth it for the dragon. Especially because it was the mountain dragon. When you have an Ezreal in your team, guys, let me give you guys this really important tip. When you have an Ezreal in either in your team or in the enemy team, the mountain dragon becomes more valuable. Let me explain. I'm gonna ask you guys why. Let me know in the comments why I'm telling you that the mountain dragon becomes way more valuable if there is an Ezreal in the game. Also, you know, I'm doing a 15 skin giveaway. All you gotta do to enter is put down a comment under this video. Also, give the video a like. Did you see this one? Smooth. That was a smooth one, huh? So, you know, just give the video a like if you're enjoying it. It really helps the channel a lot. About how to use your charm on Evelynn. Because this is perhaps also quite an important thing to understand on Evelynn. You know, it might seem like a brain dead ability, but it is not. Let me explain. So, about your charm, when you're ganking a lane, for example, only use the charm if you feel like you can hit it. Because of course, when you use the charm, the enemy, you're gonna scare the enemy away, right? So only use the charm if you feel like it's necessary to gank the lane, and if you feel like you can actually catch the enemy with it, right? Like here you can see, I charmed this guy, I charmed the Lux because the Lux couldn't get away from me. But don't just charm randomly, guys, because it's literally gonna reveal you. When the second you charm the enemy, they will know that you're there. Keep that in mind, guys, you know. Only use it if you feel like you can hit it 100%. Don't just use it because you want to use it, okay? It's actually super stupid to use it if you know, randomly. Only use it if you feel like you can just hit it easily on the enemy. If you feel like they cannot run away from you. So yeah, that's very important to understand. Same goes in team fights. Like when you get to the late game, it's not always good to use your charm. So what you want to do sometimes is you just want to go to their backlines, and then without a charm, you just dive that. Like here you can see, I did use my charm, but I immediately dived the Vayne because I couldn't wait for the charm. It would be too late. But the Vayne is just dealing so much damage now, as you can see. Crazy. But we're winning this fight anyways. The Katarina and the Ezreal are doing really, really well. Oh, let me give you an answer to the mountain dragon, by the way, guys. Okay, so I hope you put it down in the comments. And so the mountain dragon becomes way more valuable with Ezreal because of Ezreal's first ability. Like, Ezreal is super strong in the late game especially, and in the mid game and everywhere, because of his first ability. That's his core ability, right? Like his poke. He can poke you so hard with his first ability. Of course, when you get a mountain dragon, you can tank that poke easily. So that pretty much makes Ezreal's first ability useless for poking, which is a huge part of his kit, guys. That's why mountain dragon is really important when you either have an Ezreal in your team or you're against an Ezreal. Because when you're playing Ezreal against the mountain dragon, it's devastating. It's really annoying, guys. Trust me, it's really annoying. So, you know, it could probably be worth to give away the first turret for the mountain dragon if you have an Ezreal in your team or in the enemy team. So this is a good tip for you Baron laners out there. You know, when you see an Ezreal in the game, screw your turret, just go for the mountain dragon, because it's really important, and your Ezreal is really gonna thank you for that. Here I'm just, you know, waiting for the charm. Easy peasy kill. But of course, they are here and I have to get out. You know, I really have to get out. So what I'm doing here, I was waiting for me to go invisible, and I was potentially thinking of re-engaging. So here I was looking like, can I re-engage? And it's kind of hard. I do re-engage, but I shouldn't have re-engaged, guys. I shouldn't have re-engaged, of course. See, what I tried to do here, I tried to one-shot the Vayne. This is a thing that Evelynn can do in the late game, but we're not in the late game yet. This is the mid game, guys. So Evelynn has 3 stages in the game: early game, mid game, and late game. In the early game, you just gotta relax, you know, you just gotta take it a bit easy, because Evelynn got nerfed, and you just won't be able to deal that much damage. In the mid game, you're gonna have your ultimate, your invisibility. You know, you're gonna be able to do a little more. Like, you're gonna be able to catch out enemies for your teammates and kill them. You're gonna be able to gank lanes, but you're likely not gonna be able to one-shot enemies. And here, now we come to the late game. This is the point where you can literally just one-shot ADCs and mid laners. It's crazy. You can just use your third ability, first ability, ultimate. Easy peasy one-shot, guys. And the proto belt contributes to that too, because it's a gap closer. It can get you close to an enemy and just allow you to completely destroy them, one-shot them, everything. Keep that in mind. Like, you'll see what's gonna happen in the late game of this game, right? Like, when you get your Rabadon's Death Cap, here you can see it, guys. Here you can see what I'm talking about. When you get your Rabadon's Death Cap, then you're actually in transitioning from mid game to late game. That's the point where you transition from mid to late game. And here you can see how much damage I'm dealing. It's just crazy how much damage I'm dealing. Really crazy. Evelynn is still broken, guys, really. It's still broken. Definitely S tier jungler. And here I'm telling my team, like, you know, screw the Baron. Let's just go end the game. Because if you look at the timers, you know, 20-second timers, and we only have 1 turret, they only have 1 turret left, so we should be able to just finish the game here. Let's take a look. I have no idea what the Camille just did, by the way, but oh god, yeah, we finished the game. So yeah, that was it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, you know. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, yeah. So, oops. I guess I clicked the video away. No damage graph for you guys today, I guess. So, yeah. Thank you guys very much for watching. And I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye-bye.